Hello, welcome back to the channel. In support of those who will be writing in May for both IEB and CAPS paper, I'm going to do the full paper for last year, May, June exam. I prefer that you attempt the paper and use this video as a guideline to see where you may have gone wrong. All right, let's get into it. We are told that Bula Biltong uses periodic inventory system. And we also can see that they are registered VAT vendor, registered on the invoice-based method. The first question requires us to calculate using the first in, first out. Some say FIFO, some say FIFO, whatever works for you. Calculate the cost of sales for the kilograms of biltong sold for the year ending 29 February 2024. What we have to keep in mind is that the first in, first out method, we take the first stock to arrive in the business, and that is the first stock that we're going to sell to our customers, and we're going to retain the last stock we purchased. The business started the year with 6,400 kilograms of biltong, and that stock cost them 544,000. We purchased 13,000 kilograms of biltong. We made further purchases in August where we purchased an additional 3,000 kilograms at a price of 95 rands per kilogram. And the last purchase we made for the period is in December where we purchased 4,000 kilograms and a kilogram was priced at 90 rands. What we need to do next is to look at our adjustments and see if we have any additional information that may affect the purchases that we made. And if we look at the third adjustment, we are told that 500 kilograms returned to the supplier. So this changes the fact that we purchased 13,000 kilograms in May. Have purchased 12,500 kilograms because the 500 is no longer in the business. The next adjustment, we are told that in August, 250 kilograms of the May purchase was thrown away as it had been incorrectly stored. So we had to dispose some biltong, but it's not from the August purchase. The disposal was in August, but the purchase is from May. It's incorrect to say that we have 12,500 kilograms available to sell from May purchases when we disposed 250 kg. The actual truth, after taking all of this information into account, is that we only have 12,250 to sell from May purchases. We are told that we sold a total of 20,300 kilograms worth of biltong. First in, first out says that we must sell from top to bottom. So we're going to sell the stock at the top first. That is the opening stock. We first need to sell the 6,400 kilograms of biltong. After we have sold the 6,400 kilograms, we still need to account for 13,900 kilograms of the sales. So we're going to take the whole 12,250 from May. So the total cost would be 80 multiplied by 12,250 kilograms. Now, we are still left with 1,650 kilograms of sales that we have not accounted for, right? And since we have exhausted all the biltong available for sale from the May purchases, we move to the August purchases. In August, we had a total of 3,000 to sell, but we only need to account for 1,650 to make up our total sales amount. So we will have 1,650 multiplied by the price per kilogram in August, and your final answer will be presented as such. So we paid 544,000. The 12,250 kilograms available for May purchases, and a kilogram is priced at 80 rands. So a total of 980,000 rands. The 1,650 from the August purchases, and we know that a kilogram in August is priced at 95 rands per kilogram, and that will give us a total of 156,750. In total, the 20,300 kg of biltong that we sold cost us 1,000,000 680,750 rands. Now, next question requires us to calculate the actual markup percentage on cost that was achieved by the business. Right. We know that markup is gross profit over cost of sales multiplied by what? 100. So what we need to do is to find the gross profit of this biltong business, divide all that by the cost which we have already found, and multiply by 100. If you look at the last adjustment, we are told that a kilogram of biltong sells for 250 rands. If we want to find out the total value we received from selling this 20,300 kilograms, we will just say 20,300 kilograms multiplied by 250 per kilogram, and this should give you 5,075,000 rands. What is left is that we find the gross profit, and we know that the gross profit is the difference of the two. This is our 5,075,000 rand. This is the sales figure. The cost of sales, which we worked out in the first question, all that multiplied by 100, we can see that our markup is 201.95%. Now, moving on to the next question, what do we have? The information that we have is relating to knives for the same business. This time around, we are looking at the weighted average method. And we can see that we started off with 800 knives and they cost us 140,000 rand. And the closing stock is 1,400 knives. And we are not given the cost. If we look at the questions, we are required to calculate the number of knives that we have purchased during the financial year. And we are also required to calculate the weighted average price of one knife. The weighted average method works best for indistinguishable items because there's not a point in the business where you can identify that this specific knife, I bought it in March. So what we do with the average price, we work it out because we can't point out which one of the knives belong to May and which one belong to September. We work out the average price and assign any knife that is in storage the average price. 600 knives that cost 180 each were returned to their various suppliers. And we're also told that 50 knives were stolen from the stores. Right. So if you think about how a business works, we have knives that we open with at the beginning of the year. We make some purchases, we sell some knives, we return some, and some are stolen. At the end of it all, they should give us what we're left with at the end of the year. We are given what we're left with at the end of the year. So we can use all this information to find the purchasers. We started off with 800 knives at the beginning of the year. We purchased whatever it is. We don't know how much we purchased. And we sold 12,500. This is the 12,500 that we sold. We returned 600 knives. Maybe we didn't like them. They did not live up to their promises. And we know that some people stole 50 knives. And all this should give us the knives that we are left with at the end of the year, which is 1,400. What we do is we solve for P, right? So we'll have 1,400 plus 12,500 plus 600 plus 50 minus 800. We find that we purchased 13,750 knives during the financial year. Next, we are required to work out the weighted average price per knife. So we do that. Let's just clean up all this stuff so that we can have a bit of working space. So we have all this go away. We're going to add all the cost of the knives that we have available for sale, and divide that by the number of knives we have, and that should give us the average. So the average weighted price, we know that at the start of the year, we had 800 knives and they cost us 140,000 rand. So we'll do 140,000, all that for 800 knives. We also know that we made purchases during the year. These are our purchases. We purchased a total of 13,750, and the total cost of our purchases is 250,500. So we'll input that in. So we have plus 250,500, and that is for 13,750 knives. Now, we are doing this for knives that are available for sale. We know that we returned 600 knives at a cost of 180 per knife. And that will give us a total cost of our return, 108,000. So we need to take that cost out because these knives are not available for us to sell. So we take it out. We also take it out here at the bottom. Before you get tempted to work out what the weighted average price is, we must first take into account the carriage on purchases. Carriage is the cost that we incur to bring the inventory to its present location. Think alongside transportation costs. And we know that when we have the transportation cost, we add them to the cost of the good. So we need to take this carriage of 18,350 rands and add it as part of the cost of the knives that we have purchased. I've ran out of space here, so we'll just put it up here, plus 18,350. Now you can work out the weighted average price. Here I put AWP, what is that? Weighted average price. And the weighted average price per knife is 183 rands. And all done.